Hello. Many times we have heard a very common phrase that civil services preparation in itself is a very big thing, and the entire preparation is transformational. Like people come on and tell you that you see when you have so many subjects or when you are prepared for civil services, even if you did not clear, you are good to go with your life because you have acquired so many skills that you can manage many other things in your life. I think most of you people would have come across this statement. How many of you genuinely believe this? Not because someone said or else just by because of some vague notions. Do you really believe that it has transformed you in some way? In my opinion, 95% of this argument in itself is bullshit. Because if preparation or stay in ORN or in Hyderabad or Bangalore in itself is transformational, all countries should come and stay here and get transformed and be ready for their life. No, that's a wrong notion. So I would just like to rephrase this statement. So preparation in a particular way, in a particular method, is definitely transformational. I genuinely believe, after spending so much of time in this preparation, that if you tick certain to dos, it gives you two outcomes. One is that you are very confident about yourself as to whether you can clear the exam or not, number one. Number two is you know how far can you stay in this field and whether you can go out, pursue a plan B and parallelly prepare. You'll get a lot of clarity about yourself. But the point is you have to do certain must do's. Several people come with their own set of must do's, but upon reflection, I have had four must do's. And I think if one has done these four to do's, they are good to go with their lives. Which and these four to do's I consider as the runas we have to pay to UPSC. In Hindu philosophy, we read it in anthropology as well. There is a concept called karma, rina, and rebirth. What does it say? It says that because of your birth as a human, you have to perform your karma in such a way that you should satisfy four runas. Runas are debts like Guru Runa towards your Guru, Pitru Runa towards your earlier generations. In that way, we need to satisfy four runas. And if you satisfy those four runas, you will avoid rebirth and you will get moksha. Likewise, in UPSC, I feel your karma or whatever you do in this preparation has to be channelized towards these four runas. And if you channelize these four runas, 99% I think you will not have rebirth or need for one more attempt in UPSC and you will be clearing. And even if you don't clear for whatever, because there are a number of factors, okay, no one can be very certain. So even if you are not clear, you would have sucked the best. There's a good movie where they call you have sucked the muck of this entire process. You got the essence of this process, and you really are something a very valuable human resource. If you satisfy these four runas or these four debts, so we need to pay these four debts to UPSC by virtue of becoming a UPSC aspirant. So, what are these four runas? In my opinion, you see, just let's take the societal notion. The societal notion is that if you are a UPSC aspirant by default, you will be able to talk authoritatively on several subjects in life, which means that you keep yourself abreast with various national, international, local, global happenings across various areas like technology, science, polity, economy, geography, many number of things, right? And even here, you will get the satisfaction of being well prepared. I think when you satisfy your first runa, which is the runa of 1 year current affairs. I'm not talking about 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 10 years, bro, because I have my own logic. See if it makes any sense. My logic is that, see, bro, the entire current affairs goes in a circle. You see, any person worth his salt who prepared his edits rightly for at least 3 months, they have understood it. they have poured in themselves will be able to predict the event, predict an editorial. So if you know, if you saw some news and if you just saw the headline of the editorial, you will be able to predict what is going to be the content in that editorial. Did you not feel so? Any senior aspirant who at least has some grasp over current affairs will certainly feel this. So what I mean to say is many of the so-called current affairs, the processes in them are same. So once you get the process, they keep on. They are more or current affairs here is more or less like a daily serial, in the sense that even if you miss some 4 to 5 serials or 1 or 2 weeks of serial, you can get serial won't move any much farther. Okay, take farm protest since the last 2 years or since last September 20, or else I think they first came around during the lockdown. I think during April, May they came. The bill was during September. From then till now, if you had studied well in September, there's not much. The news keeps on happening, but the issues are same. So the number of issues are constant. So if you have clarity on 1 year issues well, I think you can understand any new issues using the same framework. So first you need to get the technique right. Okay, and if you do that, first preference of course has to be newspaper. Besides that, current affairs magazines have got their own virtues. I don't say CA magazine is a replacement of newspaper, but brother, CA magazines have got their own purpose. What's the purpose? You see, in newspapers, the news is dispersed, as you know. Newspaper comes, same issue repeats over 5 days, 6 days, 2 months, 3 months. So the consolidated essence, the best 10 points that you need to write in the exam are given in the CA. I mean the current affairs magazine. And any reasonable magazine is good. Vision, Forum, or I don't know about Insights. I've heard that they overdo things. But any of these is good to go. Or Drishti, okay. One current affairs, if you do it religiously, newspapers, if you do them religiously for 1 year, you'll be the ability to grasp, you become a sponge. And of course, even for the exam, your power to quote well increases a lot. I'm not talking about 10 years. But if you are following 1 year current affairs, it means that you are doing the corresponding backgrounds as well. See, in 2011, Arab Spring happened. Many of the consequences of what happened in West Asia are the consequence of Arab Spring. So when you are reading 1 or 2 events, you will definitely go to the background, and most of the backgrounds will be set if you get your 1 year current affairs. That is so your first Runa, number one. Number two, what's the second Runa? The second Runa is, I discussed in my confessions video about prelims. So brother, in this entire journey, the biggest satisfaction you get is when you solve prelims and not mains. Because I tell you, mains has a certain pattern, formula you can predict. But the toughest, you call UPSC as uncertain, right? That's bullshit. Not entirely, UPSC entirely is not uncertain. Even interview is predictable. Okay, I know good friends who scored more than 200 by getting certain patterns of the interview, okay, and by leading the interview in a particular direction. So even interview is predictable if you prepare well. Mains is predictable, at least 10 questions, 10 to 12 are predictable, but prelims is not. So the uncertainty of UPSC is the prelims. So if you handle this, if you crack this, you're ready for many uncertainties in your life. I think in one IIM lecture, Raghuram Rajan tells to IIM grads, if you could withstand the rigors of an IIM, he says you can withstand anything in your life. I would rephrase it. If you withstand the rigors of a UPSC prelims, you can withstand many things in your life, bro. So, and to do it to the peak extent, I think there are few must-dos, and one good way to do it is to be in the mode of MCQs in the last 3 months. So for that, I would suggest you to do at least 2 test series. Right now, this has become a norm because as the number of bits are increasing, people are practicing diverse number of patterns. Of course, PYQs are a must, there's no doubt. Anything is additional to PYQs. So nothing of this is exclusive. I'll come to that later on. So, but for prelims, you need to pay this debt. Okay. And here, so PYQs, two tests, leave this side, it's not of greater consequence. But here, one fact I wanted to bring to your notice is, I discussed in my Confessions video, I think, at least once in your UPSC life, you should be able to be confident in your last 10 days. There should be at least one attempt in your first 2 or 3 attempts where you do not have your relative stress levels should come down with attempts for prelims. There will be some stress. A healthy fear, a healthy stress is always good. But you should at least do like this. You can see it in the other video. I explained this very clearly. And if you do in a clear prelims in a particular method, there is a notion that many, of course, many are unable to clear prelims. There is a certain amount of, randomness. But there are a good 20 to 30% of the people who are regularly clearing it. So if they are clearing it by a method. So once you get the method right, I think you can clear good number of prelims, which is why we know people who cleared 5 prelims, 6 prelims in a row. So do it in the right way. And my opinion is, especially for prelims, prelims can be cleared by people who have a habit of clearing prelims. And you cultivate the habit reasonably during your tests. So the second runa you need to pay is towards your prelims test series. Do at least 2. As one wise mentor in a YouTube channel said, not a YouTube channel, of a particular institute said, one purchased version and one you can buy it in the market. Purchased version has its own advantages. I got few advantages. Anyone would do. Number 3, the arena of a short notes. You see, in the game of this exam is that there will be many events or sub-events happening for a particular phenomena or for a big issue. But when they ask about a question, you need to bring all of them to one place and briefly or succinctly explain them. I was solving few previous year questions of mains. So they would just ask you, what do you think are there were several schemes for vulnerable sections, and why do you think they haven't been very participatory? If you have such questions, immediately you should be able to collect, say, you should be able to recollect something from Kaka report and say what Kaka said about lack of tribal participation, and from Sachar committee report and what Sachar said about why Muslims are now unable to participate and the yields are very less for them. And you can speak about the low percentage of population, percentage of participation of women in legislatures and how their role is not being reflected in the policy making. In that way, you should bring a gamut of issues into a small answer coherently. You practice that art when you practice your art of short notes. So in a way, I think short notes practice is a way of practicing your answers as well. So it teaches you the art of succinctness, brevity. And believe me, bro, in the last stages or just before your exam, this is going to be your best friend. The one which reduces a lot of your stress is only your short notes. Okay, so, and short notes doesn't mean you will be borrowing some topper short notes, because it is his short notes and not your short notes. So you should have your own short notes, and you can populate it with a topper's one. Good, but it should be yours. And this what you call this succinctness, this brevity, while you are making short notes, you'll be learning several methods of writing answers as well. You'll get it when you start making it. And the last runa I think that you need to pay is to a good coaching center is the runa of a mains test series. This is a must, brother. So for both pre and mains. So why I stress on mains Q&A is, first get out of this misconception that okay, you have knowledge and you can write well, or you have good English and you can write well. No. Clear no. So how you writing or answer writing is a matter of technique. And just like any other technique, you can prune this technique only by practicing it. So I've been working with various teams of late on, I've been discussing with few friends on how they approached a particular question, and I was shocked. I evaluated several papers, but when I was talking to few original thinkers, I was learning a lot. So the point I'm trying to convey here is that though we have the same knowledge, the way they approach a question, they target and tackle a question is very different. They got it because they practiced good number of questions or a good at least one mains test series. So if you do one mains test series in the right way, of course you'll be finishing your syllabus. And mains test series also should be done a particular pattern. It's not like, okay, you see questions, you prepare answers and write. No, that's not bullshit. You may be getting ranks, but that will take you nowhere. You should do your PYQs. Next, you should make a short notes. You should revise your short notes and then give a test. After test, take feedback, incorporate feedback into one single sheet. So this single sheet is the outcome of your test. So this test has your mistakes plus feedback plus improvements. So this is going to be your guiding light. So come out of this misconception and you, just like as I said, you will develop the art of writing in a specific time limit, okay, in various structures. And how I do mains test is, I'll tell you one experiment that I always do. I willingly plot, okay, certain mistakes in my mains paper. Like I will, not conceptual mistakes or not factual mistakes, but I intently write long introductions. And in some introductions, I intently experiment. Not because I don't know, I know a better introduction, but I want to see how an evaluator who was evaluating continuously would be looking at this introduction. So what I do is I experiment, number one, and number two, when I get my paper back, I make it a point to discuss with the mentor that I ask them, what is your reaction when you are reading this para? So I want to get a third person's view. So in that way, we can do a lot of experiments even before you write actual mains. Okay, so this is one way of doing things. But as I said, the only differentiator in an era of explosion of information is how you present it, how you write the same information, how you package it. And don't confuse packaging it to tables or flowcharts or diagrams. No. Packaging means a certain flow of thought or certain process, certain method with which you write the answer. You learn more of it as you write. So I think that is one important rina you need to pay. So these are the 4 rinas, and if you have any other thoughts, you can come back to me. And few final words before we close is, see bro, I know people who have been here for say 6 years. If they are OBC, they have 9 attempts. Some gave, very good friends, very nice friends, gave 9 attempts, 2 interviews, standing nowhere. Okay, there are people who cleared once, who cleared last time, and who are not clearing prelims this time. So as I said, we have different kinds of people here, and they are not some some people who just whiled away time during their graduation. They are people of good worth. They did their graduation also well, but right now they are completely cut off from their graduation. So I wish I did the same mistake, bro. I did the same mistake. I was a gold medalist, but right now I'm very far from that. But the point is, so I wish someone told me very much earlier that you did not spend so much amount of time here, and you did not stay in your ORN, keep it until you clear the exam. No, that's a very wrong way of doing things. I think there are certain must-dos, and if you do these must-dos, as I said, I think if you fulfill these 4 runas, you can there's not much to do here. Okay, you can definitely go pursue your plan B, parallelly prepare. Okay, because this is the toughest thing. You did the toughest thing. Parallelly pursue your plan B and be happy with you. If you get, fine. And if you do this, you see, bro, this exam transforms because it gives you certain skills. The skill of weaving a particular pattern from a huge gamut of information, speaking succinctly, very clearly, writing is the biggest power. Okay, all these skills you get in this exam through a process. Okay, not just because you went to your study hall, you had your tea, or else you discussed with your friend, you watched Sai Deepak or Shashi Tharoor. You won't get this. You will prune these skills through certain processes. And you see, prelims gives you certain kind of skills. Mains tunes you to certain kind of skills like speaking precisely, bravely, to the point, with facts, okay, with authority, with figures, by quoting. These are all very big skills. Only a well-read man can do these things. You get those skills through a particular process, and in these four runas you'll be gaining those skills. And any person in this era, I think Jordan Peterson tells, any person who can read, understand and write clearly is deadly. In that way, any person who follows this process is deadly. Wherever you go software, you go to MBA, you are a deadly guy, in the sense that sharp, a razor like knife, you have a completely different level of clarity. So once you get that clarity through these processes, don't romanticize this exam. If you clear, fine, good number, have a deadline, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, bus, go, or else okay, it's up to you. Go and pursue a plan B. You can pursue a plan B and keep preparing, but you need not be disheartened with anything in life. Don't romanticize this exam, or don't romanticize ORN or Ashok Nagar or some Bangalore. And okay, and even if at any point of time if you want to go for a plan B, you can go very happily. And even if you want to quit at any point of your time, at any point of time, you can quit with a certain amount of confidence that first, you whenever you are here, you gave your best, because most people are here during the most important age of their life. 21 to 30 is the most productive age. So you'll have a confidence, at least you can have your hand on your heart and tell for yourself that I didn't waste my time. Okay, so even if you quit, you can quit like Dhoni, silently, confidently, with good amount of takeaways. And if you even if you don't quit, if you pursue a plan, and I would always suggest you to pursue a plan B, go pursue a plan B, so you will get wider exposure as well, and at least you will increase some GDP, bro, and that way you'll be doing some service. Okay, so I would suggest you to fulfill these four runas and avoid rebirth in ORN and UPSC, and importantly, go and increase the GDP, bro. That's all. Bye.